Come.
Oh my. Merhaba, günaydın, hello, good morning from Istanbul, Turkey. We've made it to country number 9, and today we are hoping to taste our way through Istanbul with a DIY Turkish food tour. I spent so many hours finding the best eats in the Turkish cuisine, and hopefully we can find them all here in Istanbul. So with that, let's go and eat our way through the city. We flew into Istanbul about 2 days ago, and while fighting the jet lag from our hotel room, we were able to hear the calls of prayer echoing through our windows, and it brought me right back to Egypt. Felt like we never even left, but it is very cool to be on this part of the world where the calls of prayers do echo through the streets 5 times a day.
And something else I've noticed just in our 5-minute walk from our Airbnb is that there are Turkish flags literally everywhere, and they go all out. They have some really big flags on these buildings.
We made it to our breakfast spot for the day, and we already put our orders in, but they did bring us some nice hot tea. And apparently Turkey is a tea fanatic, so we're gonna be drinking a lot of tea when we're here. And also we got this massive bread basket. The very first thing that we're trying here in Turkey is menemen, and this is a breakfast dish that's kind of like a cross between scrambled eggs and vegetable stew. It's got onions, bell peppers, tomatoes, and actually the eggs are broiled in this tomato juice, and it creates this beautiful dish. And we got it with some sausage. Let's dig in.
Whoa.
Oh man, I'm gonna be bloated today. This really reminds me of lasagna, but replace the noodles with some scrambled eggs. But it is very tomatoey, very delicious. The next thing we have here is Gozleme, and this is a savory Turkish pastry made from thin unleavened dough. And it's actually brushed with oil before stuffed to the brim with toppings, and we got it filled with cheese and mushrooms. We just finished our breakfast, and 2 things I want to note. First of all, the Gozleme tasted like a very chewy, very gooey quesadilla. It was filled with cheese on the inside, and Chad actually ate most of it. And then the second thing is those 2 dishes together cost 70 Turkish lira, so very affordable, and I think we're gonna be liking the prices here in Turkey very much.
While we were eating breakfast, I noticed that there was a lot of commotion going on in the street, and it turns out that it's actually like a National Independence Day, and it's also Children's Day. So we were next to a school, and there were lots of kids singing, and a whole parade of people went by with the Turkish flag. There's just a lot of activity on this Saturday morning.
I'm nervously laughing right now because behind Chad is one of those ice cream tricksters that Istanbul is known for. They hand you some ice cream and they flip it in all sorts of different ways. It feels like you're gonna drop it, and then they might even get it on your face, but I'm gonna give it a try because when in Istanbul, you have to go for these experiences, so I'm going to be that fool that gets tricked over and over again. I'm so nervous. He's got the ice cream cone bobbing behind me.
All right, go for it. He's waiting for you. Get nice and close.
Gel. Take it. Come. What is this? Money is for you. Thank you. Bye bye. Kızlar hoş geldiniz. Buyurun efendim.
Oh my goodness.
How are you? Ham yap. Ham. Test. Nice. First lady.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay.
Ice cream?
No ice cream. Oh, thank you, my friend.
Very
Tamam.
nice.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry yani.
No worries. Think you earned it.
Yes. The anxiety is over. After that very enthusiastic show, I finally have my Dondurma, which is Turkish ice cream. It's very sticky and chewy in texture, and that is because it is made out of salep and mastic. And so salep is an orchid flower, and it kind of gives it this nice velvety, smooth texture, and then mastic is this natural gum that gives it the chewiness that it does have. And so this ice cream actually is very resistant to melting, and that is why they're able to do all those crazy tricks with it and it won't melt or fall off because it's so sticky and chewy. Now Chad is going to show you the sticky texture because I actually don't like biting into ice cream, but Chad doesn't mind. See?
I don't like biting either. But you can tell it's gummy.
All around Istanbul, you'll find these bright red carts that sell these things called Simit. And these are basically like the Turkish bagel. They're nice and round and the same shape as a bagel. And it's also encrusted by so many sesame seeds. And apparently they're very crunchy and chewy. Oh my. Let me try a different part.
It's definitely very light. It kind of feels like styrofoam. It's like a crouton without the crunch. Pretty good though. I mean, like, it's okay. I'm not a huge fan, but I would never be like, I'm craving that. We're at the base of Galata Tower, which has a strategic viewpoint of the city, which has allowed them to see if invaders were coming off in the distance on the water. And also, this tower was used as a prison for prisoners at one point. And it's definitely a lot bigger than I expected.
We are now sitting by the Galata Bridge, sunbathing and watching the hundreds and hundreds of jellyfish float in the water. I've never seen so many jellyfish up close and personal, but they're having a grand old time in the water as we are here on land. And off in the distance, I can actually see dozens of fishermen on the top deck of the bridge. They're casting their poles off into the water, catching some fresh fish. And underneath, there are rows and rows of restaurants that sell these fresh fish in sandwich form. And they're called bagel-shaped, which directly translates to fish bread. So you can go and get some fish sandwiches, but I've decided not to just because I've heard they're a little bit dry and not very tasty. So we'll save our stomachs for something else. But if you are interested in fish sandwiches, you know where to find it. After walking around under the hot sun for a little while, we found a nice shady and breezy spot under the trees. And once I sat down, Chad was like, look up. And so I looked up, and staring back at me were about 100 pigeon butts. And I was like, I had this feeling that we're gonna get pooped on. And of course, 5 seconds later, Chad has a big plop of bird poop on his hat. And so me being the incredible wife that I am, I wiped it off, and we have now moved to a safer spot. And I think we're gonna go and get some Turkish coffee because Chad deserves a little treat after getting pooped on.
Honestly, I think Claire deserves a little treat for wiping up the poop.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's definitely pretty hectic over here. So in case you're wondering where we are, we have made it to the spice market, which is the part of Istanbul that sells a lot of spices. Whoa! Guys, this is real time.
Wow.
Not sped up.
Incredibly fast.
One of the biggest changes since leaving Egypt and coming to Turkey is that the people here absolutely love to be filmed, and it's making filming just so much easier.
Yeah, they smile so big for the camera. I absolutely love it. It just makes us feel really comfortable carrying this big camera around. So we have come to a little pastry shop, and I've gotten myself some dessert. This is Kunefe, and this is something I actually ate over in Egypt, but I got the cheeseless version. But I do believe this one does have cheese. So we're gonna give this a little taste. And of course, Chad got his Turkish coffee.
Yes, right here.
Yeah, there's cheese in there. This was my favorite dessert in Egypt, even without the cheese. But with the cheese, you've got that little saltiness, that little savory hint. So good.
Time to taste the Turkish coffee. It's very flavorful. Yeah. Wow, it like hits all the notes on your tongue. You should try it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's very good. It might be one of my favorite coffees I've ever tasted, actually.
You want?
No, I don't need it.
We have now made it to the spice market, which was originally built back in the 1600s. And apparently this is the less touristy area rather than going to the Grand Bazaar. And apparently the prices are about 1/3 of what you would find over there.
I'm currently trying a dried fig because Turkey is known for them. And it's very good. Might bring some home.
This one is Turkish delight,
Oh, wow.
but with nuts.
My mom sent me off to Turkey with a mission to bring home some Turkish goodies for our family, and that actually came in very handy because when we went into one of the vendors, we actually got a very extensive taste test. We got to taste almost every single thing that he sold in his shop, and we left with lots of different treats. So the first thing I got were some dried figs, very delicious. It's got nice little seeds in the inside that kind of make it crunchy. And then we got 2 different types of pistachios, one with some honey and then one that's nice and roasted. And then we also got some eucalyptus tea as well as 5 rolls of fancy Turkish delights. And the Turkish delight is known as Lokum in Turkish, and these are gelatinous confections that are found just about anywhere in Turkey. And the standard ones normally are flavored with rose water, lemon, mastic, and bergamot orange. And to finish off these little confections, they are dusted with powdered sugar to prevent clinging. If you ever get too clingy, Chad, I'm gonna dust you with powdered sugar.
Hi, kitty.
Well, my friends, after going to the spice market, we realized that we pretty much ate the entire Turkish delight inventory of the Spice Man. We were so full, we were so jet lagged, and so we ended up going back to our Airbnb and crashing on the couch for 2 hours, and now we are back up and running to our dinner spot because it's about to close because we crashed on the couch for way too long. So let's go get dinner. We have made it to our dinner spot and I've ordered a variety of different foods, and the very first thing that I got is Lahmacun, and this is kind of like a Turkish pizza but without the cheese and with a very thin crust. And as you can see, we've got a host of vegetables topping it as well as some meat. We did get the tiny version because we aren't too hungry. We want to be able to eat all of it. Alright, apparently you roll it up to eat it, so that's what I'll do. I do like the really thin crust, less carb heavy and more about the toppings. Our second dish is Iskender Kebap, and this is basically a sliced doner meat that has been laid across this beautiful platter, and it's topped with hot tomato sauce, and it comes with the cutest little jar of yogurt. I do believe you eat it all together. We switched over to another eatery now, and I've got myself some Cig Kofte, and this means raw meatballs. So traditionally this was made out of raw ground beef, but in 2009 it was actually banned due to a health precaution regarding the consumption of raw meat. So now it is made out of bulgur instead of raw ground beef. So we're going to try this vegan dish. It does still appear to look like raw meat, but I guess it's the bulgur. Interesting.
Glad we only got 2. Interesting.
Interesting. Chad always jaywalks and leaves me behind.
There never jaywalks and always gets left behind.
On our way back, we picked up some pide, and that will be tomorrow's lunch. But I believe this officially concludes our food tour here in Istanbul. Wow, we ate a lot.
Yeah, this was the first time we've ever done a food tour right when we arrived. And I think it was definitely a challenge, but it made us acclimate to the country a lot faster.
Yeah, I agree. So now we know all the great things to eat here in Turkey. And of course, I left off a lot of things on my list because obviously we can't eat everything today. So you'll have to stay tuned and follow our Turkey series if you want to see us eat the rest of the amazing Turkish cuisine. And with that, if you would like to follow along on our adventure to 50 countries, hit subscribe. And if you'd like to see some behind the scenes footage, follow us on Patreon. And in the next video, we will catch you guys at a Turkish bath for the very first time.
Yeah, I know. All right, see you guys.